Hey everyone, it's Kate here with BeyondFit Physiques. I am super excited once again to be back with you chatting tonight for our BeyondFit Life Club. This is your live coaching call. So tonight we are all about just answering questions and making sure that you are on track with your January goals. So I look forward each month just to getting to chat with you and to share some new and exciting tips and tricks and just to help you in any way that I can to work towards your goals each month. So this month we are talking about fitting into those skinny jeans. So tonight our training is going to be all about training tips and nutrition tips to help you get into some goal jeans. So if the holidays did a number on your waistline and you're looking to kind of jumpstart your New Year's resolution, maybe you want to ditch some inches off your waist. We have some members in the group that mentioned losing some inches off their hips, off their thighs, or you're just looking for kind of some help to get better results, right? So we're talking short, efficient workouts, getting you results fast. This training is going to be extremely, extremely valuable to you. So most of the women on the call, I see everybody popping in here, are BeyondFit Life members. So you guys have all the workouts and everything already printed. We have quite a few new ladies joining us in the BeyondFit Life Club this month. So if you're new and if you have questions or you're not exactly sure where in the members portal to print the workouts or the recipes or anything like that, there's a chat box on our coaching call tonight. So actually, let's go ahead and have everybody who is signed in. I see some more people coming in. Ashley, hey. Danielle, hey. Deb, Emily, Erica, Jennifer, hey everybody. So go ahead and once you get signed in, head on over to that chat feature and just say hey and let me know that you're here and that you're excited for the call and that you can see the chat sidebar, and that's where you'll post your questions. So I know we have some members who are going to be listening into the recording in the members portal, and that's great. But if you're on live with us right now, you have the extra feature of being able to chat and to ask your questions. So please take advantage of that chat box. Hey. So glad that you're here. Okay, so one other thing, we do have a couple of ladies on the call who have been invited by BeyondFit Life members. So they have a friend that's part of the BeyondFit Life Club and they got the link to our call, which is great. We love having guests, right? So if you're not part of the BeyondFit Life sisterhood yet, you know somebody that is, and they gave you the link and invited you to listen in tonight and to get some tips to work towards your resolution. So hey Ashley, hey guys, so I'm so excited to chat with you. I think that that takes care of everything as far as housekeeping. Patrick's on daddy duty tonight, and he actually we've already done dinner, and Jackson is in the bathtub. And he has Warren all taken care of. So hopefully you won't hear any crazy toddler shrieking or any screaming in the background. But if you do, you will know that my house is just as crazy as yours is. So anyways, tonight I have tons to share. So let's just jump right in. Here are some things that you can expect to learn tonight on the call. I'm going to talk to you about using some of our nutrition tips. So we like to talk about this as being waist slimming nutrition. And we're going to talk about tips that will actually fit into your daily life. I'm also going to talk to you about what you need to start doing this month to get more results fast. And actually, this is really cool because I'm going to share some research that's going to talk about how we can burn more fat In fact, the research says up to 10 times more fat using this exclusive form of fat burning exercise. So we'll talk kind of about why our BeyondFit Life workouts for the Jeans Challenge are set up the way they are. I'm also going to share with you how you can easily improve your trouble areas. So if you're BLT, and for the BLT, we're talking butt, legs, and thighs. If those are your trouble areas, we'll talk about how you can improve those without needing to purchase a bunch of crazy supplements, which I don't know about you, but the supplement stuff in January for me, I mean, like all over social media, it's just like, buy this, buy this, buy this. I'm like, duh. It's crazy how they're trying to capitalize on all those New Year's resolutions and really get those supplements out. So it doesn't need to be crazy. There's no super magic, special pill or anything like that. But we'll talk about what you should take and what does work tonight in the call. Let's see what else. We're going to talk about how you can reduce overall body fat. So this is kind of the plan to lose some inches this month in January and to reduce some overall body fat, as well as to boost your metabolism. And again, without any gimmicks, right? So we're all about getting you to burn fat even while you rest to boost that metabolism. And then of course, as I mentioned in the private Facebook group today, I will have to throw in a little bit of hormonal information. So I'm going to share tonight 3 ways to fix your fat-fighting hormones in relation to the lower body and to tap into the power of balanced metabolic hormones. So that'll be my geeky side, and I will save all of my geek and nerd stuff for the end, okay? So let's jump right in and let's talk about nutrition. So we're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about some training tips and hormones. But for nutrition, we have 3 goals for this month. And I've broken it down. You can see on your screen here. I want us to work on reducing overall body fat. I want our nutrition to be set up so that we're maintaining muscle mass. And I want our nutrition to help us to increase our insulin sensitivity. So those are the 3 goals for our nutrition this month in the BeyondFit Life Club. So goal number 1, to reduce overall body fat. The first step, honestly, in toning your butt and your legs and your thighs, and really that's kind of what you got to work on to get into those skinny jeans, right? So the first step is to reduce overall body fat. And, in order to address the issue of body fat, it's important to remember that a proper diet, and when I say proper diet, what I'm talking about here, ladies, is just lean protein sources, lots of fibrous veggies, low sugar fruits, as well as a small amount of complex carbohydrates. So this kind of proper diet, it's necessary to burn fat and to hold on to your hard-earned muscle. So nutrition is my starting point tonight, because we just have to make sure that we have that foundation and that we have our nutrition kind of set and in place before we go on to any other kind of tips and tricks. So you guys know this, but just as a reminder, the consumption of simple sugars, what that does is it causes a spike in insulin in your bloodstream. And this encourages the conversion of sugar and of fat into ultimately fat storage. So insulin is a storage hormone. It can store, fuel as muscle and help rebuild muscle. But usually when you're consuming too many simple sugars and that sort of thing, that spike in insulin, it's going to have a fat storing effect. So because fat tends to be stubborn in certain areas in women, like the lower body, we have to address this nutrition issue as well as some hormonal patterns, and they kind of play into each other. Without getting too much into the science of things, I'll just say that doing a fairly low carb diet really, really helps for women to make sure that we're on track for burning fat and reducing overall body fat. So we want, you want to focus on protein and on those fibrous veggies and keep your carbohydrates relatively low. Now, I will say post-workout, you definitely want to make sure you replenish your depleted glycogen stores by taking in some slow-burning carbohydrates and protein. And this is going to maximize muscle strengthening and muscle building. Okay, so you do want to have those carbohydrates typically kind of around your workout period. But aside from that, focusing on lean protein and lots of fibrous veggies, low sugar fruit, that sort of thing, you need to make sure that your nutrition is in place with those types of things first. And I know that that sounds pretty basic, but I'll be the first to tell you, you know, we don't always do the basics, right? I mean, I know this stuff. I've been preaching this stuff for years, and still I have to remind myself and check myself, you know, busy weeks, sometimes without even realizing it, I'm missing some of my basics like lean protein and veggies, right? So I say that to remind you that sometimes the basics feel boring, but they're basic and they're important for a reason. So our first goal is to reduce that overall body fat. Our second goal is to maintain muscle. So yes, we want to burn fat, but we also want to keep our muscle. And you've heard me say this before, but increased muscle equals increased metabolic potential. So here's the problem with low-calorie diets. And I, especially right now being, you know, New Year and lots of kind of New Year's resolutions around diets and that sort of thing, I just hate low-calorie diets because they're the enemy of our muscle. And so ultimately, they're kind of the enemy of our metabolism. So there are two things that two kind of ways that dieting destroys muscle. So the first is that dieting decreases muscle mass, okay? So muscle is highly calorically intensive to maintain. So what that means is that your body needs a lot of energy. It needs a lot of calories to maintain muscle. Your body needs fuel to keep your muscles going, okay? So for women who eat too little for too long, their bodies adapt to this extreme sort of caloric deficit by breaking down muscle tissue and using it for energy, which is terrible. It's terrible. You don't want to be eating so little that your body is literally breaking down your muscle and using it for energy, but it happens all the time. So I'm sure if you have been interested in kind of health and fitness and maybe getting to a certain goal at some point or another, you've probably tried a low-calorie diet. In fact, let's head on over to the chat box, and I want you to tell me if you've ever been guilty of kind of a quick fix, low-calorie diet. I will tell you, yeah. Yep, it's so common. I was guilty of that actually for probably years. It was a yo-yo cycle. I posted on the BeyondFit Facebook page today a picture of kind of the cycle that happens when you do a low-calorie diet, and then it messes with your hormones, and it slows your metabolism, it does lots of damage, and then you start eating normal again, right? And then you gain a bunch of weight back, and then it's just a terrible cycle. And so I know that it's something that a lot of us, unfortunately, we can relate to, right? So this is, it's something that we need to work against. So we need to make sure that we're not just burning fat, but we are also burning, keeping our body from burning muscle. So we want to avoid those super low calorie diets, first because it just eats up your muscle. And secondly, because these low calorie diets, they really decrease testosterone. And I know when we say that, we think that it's like this man hormone, but testosterone is a crucial hormone for both men and women in terms of building and maintaining muscle. So testosterone is actually one of the key hormones that is responsible for muscle anabolism. So this is also known as muscle building, okay? So if you're catabolic, you're breaking down, and if you're anabolic, you're building. So testosterone is one of the key hormones that's responsible for being anabolic or building muscle. And without testosterone, it's really, really hard to keep your body building at all. So your body can't produce enough fuel to build and to repair muscle tissue when you're on a low calorie diet. So not eating enough calories, it's not a good way to go about it. So it causes many metabolic changes. These ones that we've kind of talked about, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. What you have to know is this, is that our bodies have been intelligently designed, and your body knows when it's low on energy. So low calorie diets, they may work for a few weeks, but eventually your body's going to compensate for the changes, and it's going to lower its metabolic potential, and it's going to try to conserve energy in any way that it can. So if you guys have questions about that, definitely use that chat box. Lots more yeses are coming in about the low calorie stuff. And yeah, Emily, I don't think you're alone. She said, that she's still kind of feeling like she's a slave to tracking calories. And it's normal, when you've been in that mindset for so long, it's normal to feel that way. And it does take a big shift kind of in almost your mind, right? It's pretty mental. But it's important to know. So listening to this and reminding yourself of that, it's key. So remember that low calorie diets are not the answer. So our goals, coming back to our nutrition goals, reducing overall body fat, maintaining muscle mass, and then here's our third goal. And our third goal is just to increase or improve our insulin sensitivity. So your body needs the hormone insulin in order to feed your cells and to get essential amino acids into your tissues. So this is important to provide fuel for muscle growth, right? We talked about wanting to maintain the muscle that we have, because increased muscle or, maintained muscle equals increased metabolic potential or maintained metabolic potential. So we got to keep that muscle. And for optimal fat loss and health changes, you need enough insulin to build muscle, but not too much that's going to cause you to store fat. So remember, I told you that insulin is a storage hormone. So we really need to make sure that it's almost like, I guess, a seesaw. Like, we're not too high one way or another, right? We want to be balanced, and we want to have enough to build muscle, but not too much that's going to store fat. So here's the thing about insulin. Improving insulin sensitivity is a process really where your body becomes more sensitive to insulin, and this allows your metabolism to begin to function more normally. And this just makes fat loss a whole lot easier, which who doesn't want easier fat loss, right? So it's really not a complicated process. It does take a little bit of time just to kind of figure out your body and to learn how to do it, and to make practices, kind of turned into habits and that sort of thing. But here are 3 tips for improving your insulin sensitivity. The first 2 don't have much to do with nutrition, but it's rest and resistance. So rest, meaning you work on leisurely activities like walking and yoga. You make sure you get enough sleep. You lower your stress hormones and you rest. Okay, that's very important. Secondly, resistance, and that's just our resistance training. So I'm going to save that for our next part when we talk about our training. But rest, resistance, and refuel. And this is the part in relation to improving that insulin sensitivity that relates to your diet. you have to refuel your cells with quality nutrition, okay? So women who are resistant to insulin, you really need to look for ways to lower the impact of insulin in the body. How do you do that? You focus on lean protein and filling up on fibrous veggies, okay? So it goes back to what I said in the beginning, and this is just full circle. Lean protein, fibrous veggies, lean protein, fibrous veggies. This is gonna keep you feeling fuller longer, and it will help you to balance blood sugar, okay? So the worst thing that someone who's insulin resistant can do is to fill up on starch and fat. You wanna focus on those fibrous veggies and that lean protein. So, do we have questions on that? Our 3 goals for our nutrition are to reduce overall body fat, to maintain muscle mass, and to increase or to improve the insulin sensitivity of your body. Okay, so we're moving quickly through this. And in relation to nutrition, make sure you log into the members portal. We have a 3-day detox meal plan to help with kind of the bloating and all of that that happens over the holidays. We have lots and lots and lots of recipes that fall into all 3 of these goals. So go through those recipes in the members portal, print those. We just did a thread today in the private Facebook group with tons of recipe swapping. So make sure you log in there and get all of those recipes that everyone posted. Let's see what else. Meal plan is in there. The recipes and other nutrition tips and tricks are in the portal as well. So go through all of that and you'll be all set with the nutrition for our January Jeans Challenge. So, okay, January Jeans Challenge workouts. We have 3 workout goals for this month as well. Our first goal is to increase lean muscle. So remember when we talked about that nutrition stuff, increased muscle mass equals increased metabolic potential. With our workout goals as well, we're talking about increasing lean muscle. So that's our first goal. Secondly, we want to induce failure, okay? So increase lean muscle, induce failure. Third goal, get an afterburn. So I'm gonna talk about what I mean when I mention failure and afterburn in a minute, but let's start with one more time why you need to focus on increasing lean muscle. So I say all the time, ditch the cardio, pick up some weights, right? Many women think that in order to tone their lower body, they have to get out and run mile after mile. And it's just not the case, okay? So I have shared with a few of you on the call before that I used to be just a cardio queen. I spent hours and hours and hours just on the elliptical, pedaling away, running on the treadmill, doing my whole cardio thing, just trying to get to my goal, and I never got there because cardio is not the answer. So increasing lean muscle through weight training, not through cardio, is the quickest and the most effective way to naturally reduce kind of the appearance and that fat storage in the legs and in the butt. So we're talking about in January about getting into our goal jeans, right? So that means we got to look at the legs and the butt. We've got to build lean muscle in that lower body so that we're tight and we're toned and we can get to that goal. So focusing on weight training builds lean muscle, and lean muscle is so awesome because it continues to burn fat even while you're at rest. So not only is lean muscle giving you that tight toned look that you're going for, right? But it increases your metabolism and it helps you to burn fat even while you're resting. So it is just, it's absolutely fantastic. Muscle actually underlies the collagen in the fat layer. So when muscle is built and it's strengthened, it actually pulls the connective tissue tighter. So if you're on the call and while we're talking about kind of the butt and the legs and your thighs and that sort of thing, and you're wondering about cellulite, cellulite is a big kind of question that lots of ladies come to me asking about, and they're like, so about those cottage cheese thighs, right? So this lean muscle, building lean muscle, is very important for that. So how do we do that? What's the magic kind of exercise that we're doing in the jeans challenge that's really going to help with this fat loss and this lean muscle building in the lower body? Hybrid weight training exercises, or exercises that involve more than one muscle group. They are key. So they use compound movements. So think of squats, lunges, our deadlifts, our rows, our presses. They're so awesome for fat burning. And the reason being is that these exercises really give you more fat loss bang for your buck, so to speak. So they're really one step above isolation weight training exercises. An isolation weight training exercise would be something like a curl or a calf raise, where you're just doing a small movement, isolating one muscle group. But when you do compound or hybrid weight training exercises, what you're doing is you're using lots of muscle groups at once. So in the BeyondFit Life Club, we'll do our squat presses, we'll do our lunge rows, you know, all of our different combinations in the January workouts. You can print those in the members portal. They're absolutely fantastic if you want to burn more fat and increase your metabolic potential to a greater degree. Ditch the isolated exercises and focus on these hybrids for that total body workout and for that fat burning, okay? So that's goal number one, increase our lean muscle. And we know how to do that. Print your BeyondFit Life workouts, and that will take care of you in that department. Goal number two for your workout is to induce failure. And this is a tricky one because it really requires you to push hard during your workouts. So your focus in January with our workouts should be to use heavy weights and to induce failure. So in addition to getting a total body workout, your goal is to challenge the lower body, so everywhere that your jeans are going to touch, right, from several different angles and with a challenging enough weight with our various hybrid exercises. So the BeyondFit Life workouts are set for you in the members portal, and you can print those, but you have to take it one step further, and you have to challenge yourself with the weight that you're using on those workouts. So to kind of correct the hormonal imbalance in the lower body and to induce that testosterone response, which we talked about that being important for fat burning and muscle building, right? You have to train to the point of failure throughout each workout. So I want you to achieve two types of failure. The first is mechanical, and that is when your weight is just simply too heavy to be lifted anymore. This mechanical failure increases levels of testosterone. Similarly, I also want you to generate a metabolic failure. And a metabolic failure is the term we use for that burning sensation in your muscles. So when you get that burn and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to rest because I'm burning, right? That is a sign that your body's releasing HGH. And HGH is a hormone that helps with fat burning. So on your training day, your goal is to repeat our circuit workout as many rounds as possible in 20 minutes. But I want you to be using heavy enough weight that you get those two types of failure. And that's the mechanical failure and the metabolic failure. Okay, so that is goal number two. Goal number three for our workouts is to get that afterburn. So what I'm talking about with the afterburn is burning fat even after your workout's over. And our workouts are set up for you to do that, but I just want to remind you, you know, we don't typically encourage you to do moderate intensity or long duration steady state cardio, unless it's just, something you really enjoy and you're maybe just doing it as a stress reliever once a week. That's okay. But I'll tell you, I've seen great results both for myself and for my clients when sprints are incorporated into your weekly workout routine. So we talked about the hybrid weight training workouts in the members portal. Now I want to talk about a great way to get an afterburn with sprints. So as much as running long distances may seem like the best way to lean out the legs, this really, it's not going to do much to tone your legs. Running burns fat, yes, but it doesn't do anything to tighten those legs. Sprints, on the other hand, they work miracles to bring out definition in even the most stubborn lower body, okay? So sprints are one of the most effective lower body exercises because they literally teach your body how to be an effective fat burner. The last 20 plus years in exercise science has provided great insight into how the body uses fuel during and after exercise. And what these studies are saying time and time again is that unlike steady state aerobics, sprint training actually produces a metabolic ripple that leads to enhanced fat burning that can seriously last for days after the workout's over. So by adding sprints into your workout, you're absolutely kind of giving fat loss the 1-2 punch. You got your hybrid weight training exercises, you've got your sprints. An interesting study actually was done kind of comparing long duration cardio and sprints. And let me tell you a little bit about this. So what the researchers were looking at was caloric burn. And so basically how many calories were burned in a certain amount of time. Okay, so an aerobic exercise session took 4 times longer to complete to get that same level of caloric burn than 210 seconds or 45 seconds of sprints. Okay, so it was 210 seconds for the aerobic kind of steady state or 45 seconds of sprints. So it's just like the calories and the fat burning, it goes through the roof when you look at the research on sprints versus that steady state moderate intensity aerobic activity. So sprints are powerful. How do I do my sprints? This is such a common question. I usually do 30 seconds all out sprinting with 1 minute of rest, 30 seconds to 1 minute of rest in between. And I just saw a great question. So the question on the chat box was, do they have to be running sprints? Can it be bicycle sprints or rowing machine sprints? Absolutely. In fact, you can do, it doesn't even have to be on a machine. You can do like burpees all out for 30 seconds. Stop, rest, recover, and then do it again. We have lots of Metcons or metabolic conditioning exercises in the members portal. Any one of those Metcons is a great exercise. It's a body weight exercise that you can do going all out as fast as you can, as many reps as possible for that 30-second sprint interval. Then you're going to have a recovery interval, and then you'll repeat. So yes, absolutely. You can do that on a bicycle. You can do it on a rowing machine. You can run. However, whatever works best for you is great. Just make sure that you are getting those sprints in. So increase lean muscle, induce failure, and get an afterburn. Okay, so those are our goals. Let me head over to the chat box one more time here and see if I missed any questions. So the 3-day detox plan is in the members portal. So you can download and print that. The links to the recipes are there as well for the meal plan. And Melissa said she loves the detox plan and that it's a go-to for her. And I agree, Melissa. That was the first thing I did when we got back home after visiting family in Ohio. And you know how it is when you're at home for Christmas, right? There's lots of sweets and treats. So that 3-day detox plan, it will really kind of help you de-bloat and get you back on track. So that's nutrition and workout. Let's finish our chat tonight talking about some hormones. So on the screen, you will see 3 hormonal goals for January. The first goal is to balance cortisol levels. The second goal is to balance estrogen. And the third is to increase all of our fat-burning hormones. So in the members portal, you will find 7 ways to balance metabolic hormones. But tonight, while we're talking about our genes challenge, I want to focus on 3. The first is balancing cortisol levels. And you'll remember during the nutrition section of our chat tonight, I talked about improving insulin sensitivity, and I mentioned that rest was very important. Rest matters because rest helps you balance your cortisol levels. And I know that it's a lot easier said than done, but you really, really, really need to stress less because high cortisol levels from stress impact your ability to burn fat. Now, I will just tell you and confess, I am a type A personality and I stress way too often over everything. Okay, I'm working on it, but I have not arrived yet. So I work on balancing my stress levels with leisurely walks. Sleep is a great way to balance stress, but the truth is that I can't really control my sleep schedule right now. So Warren's up throughout the night. We just are in that season of life when, you know, I try to make sure we get enough sleep. But for me, leisurely walking is a great way to lower stress levels, cortisol levels, and something that I can control. So I know it's easier said than done, but I do want you to focus this month on lowering those cortisol levels. Whenever possible, do restorative activities. So do a leisurely walk, have some quiet time to de-stress, even if it's just 5 minutes. We have lots of yoga bonus workouts in the members portal, so you can do some yoga, you can foam roll, you can do a leisurely walk. Whatever you can do to lower the cortisol levels, those stress levels, is going to be key. So the next goal this month is to balance estrogen. So estrogen, this is it's our female hormone, right? And unfortunately, it can lead to storing fat in the lower body and or in the breast. So if you notice that you tend to typically store fat in the lower body or the breasts first, that's going to indicate elevated estrogen levels compared to progesterone levels. So when I talk about balancing your estrogen, what we're really talking about is actually balancing the ratio of estrogen levels to progesterone levels. And the way that we do that is with veggies. So storing fat in your lower body and your breasts often indicates an indicated or elevated estrogen compared to progesterone ratio. So that can actually affect your ability to burn fat. And lots of studies have shown that you can actually lower estrogen relative to progesterone by increasing foods that naturally help you detox estrogen. So these foods are going to be veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, even green tea will do that. So make sure you're loading up on those fibrous veggies, lots of good broccoli, lots of good cauliflower. Focus on the veggies, and that's going to help at least balance that level a little bit better naturally. And then fat-burning hormones overall, I talked about increasing HGH with sprints. So HGH is a fat-burning hormone that is produced in the pituitary gland. And as its name suggests, it is a hormone that stimulates muscle tissue growth. So it's really important because there's no better fat burner than our muscles, right? We talked about that. increasing muscle mass equals increasing our metabolic potential. But HGH with our sprints is important because it's released from sprinting. So sprinting is important. It has a great effect on fat loss. And short, intense, high intensity, short duration exercises like our hybrid weight training exercises do that as well. So the key here, as far as increasing fat burning hormones, it all comes down to the right type of workout. In implementing high intensity exercises like the workouts in the BeyondFit Life Club, it really can not just help with lower cortisol over time, but it can help increase those fat burning, muscle building hormones that we need to burn fat. So beyond helping you, burn the fat, these hormones also help to build the muscle, which, like I said, all comes back to that metabolic capacity, increasing that metabolism, which again, full circle back to burning fat. So it's like, we are burning fat like crazy over here, right? HGH, testosterone, exercise even releases endorphins. The endorphins don't have as much to do with the fat burning, but they do improve your mood. So how many of us have felt like, I don't really feel like getting my workout in today, but then you do your workout and like, I'm in a much better mood. I'm feeling pretty good. So that's kind of a bonus, unrelated to the fat burning, but it's a nice effect there as well. So those are our goals for the hormonal balancing side of things. Make sure you're balancing estrogen. Make sure you increase your fat burning hormones, and then work this month as well on balancing cortisol levels. So here's the thing. I just shared, oh my gosh, my mind is spinning. I guess 9 goals. Let's go back and let's see. Yeah. So we had 3 goals for our nutrition this month, 3 goals for our training this month, and 3 hormonal goals. Are you guys up for this? Are you ready? Okay, so head into the chat box and tell me, like, I'm in. Let me know that you are with me on these goals. And yes. Okay, so we are ready for a seriously fantastic, awesome January. We will be burning fat like crazy, getting into those goal genes, reaching our goals. And it's great because we all get to do it together. And the support that we have in the group is fantastic. It's the best. So I saved a couple of minutes to answer any questions that you have. I see a fun chat going on the side there about taking fat storage for the breasts. Yes, some of our women on the call are more endowed than others. But hey, Sherry, yes, I'm so glad you're in. You're in. Ready. Good. Hey, Rhonda, did you find your gift card or your memory sticks? I saw you posted about that in Facebook earlier. Did you find what you lost? Yay, Melinda is ready. Erica, of course, ready. Smiley. Deb is in. Good. Major goal is nutrition. Awesome. So Emily is in, and she's focusing in specifically on that nutrition. Perfect. Melinda is ready. Great. So we're all ready. It's going to be a great month. Like I said, everything you need, ladies, is in the members portal. So log in, take a couple minutes to just kind of look around. There's so much information in there, just bonuses and lots of recipes. In addition to the monthly schedule, make sure you print that monthly schedule. So that's going to tell you what we're doing when. Tonight's our coaching call. Tomorrow, we are doing drop a jean size workout number 2. And I want you to check in with your accountability partner when you finish that workout. On Thursday this week, I have us all scheduled for a 30 to 60 minute leisurely walk. So that'll be lowering the cortisol with that leisurely walk. And then on Friday this week, we'll do drop a jean size workout number 3. Remember on those workouts to go heavy and to get those 2 types of failure, metabolic failure and mechanical failure. Melissa actually shared this quote, and I loved it so much I put it in the calendar. Remember, summer bodies are earned in the winter. So we're working hard, even though it's January, we're working hard towards those summer bodies. And then on Saturday this week, we have a 10-minute sprint workout. So that'll be Saturday. And then sometime this weekend, I want you to try a new recipe from the members portal. And of course, throughout the week, check in and let us know what you make, how your workouts are going, and how your week's going. So I see a couple of questions here on the chat on the side real quick. And let me scroll over here and get to those for you before we head out. Okay, so here's a great question. I wake up at 4:45 a.m. and start my workout by 5. I typically don't eat until after. Do you recommend replacing breakfast with the post-workout shake? Okay, so your schedule sounds almost identical to mine. I get up super early too, and I am usually out in the garage by 5 or just a couple minutes after. And typically, I don't really eat breakfast until after either, just because who wants to be in the kitchen making, an omelet with veggies at 4 in the morning? Not me. So I usually have some coffee and some BCAAs before my workout. If I'm feeling like I need a little bit more, I'll do like half a protein shake, or maybe like some quick oatmeal or something fast, half a protein bar if you need something in your tummy. But if you don't, if you're going straight out to train right after waking, I do want you to make sure you do some BCAAs. It's important just to kind of have that fuel to make sure that you can have a good intense workout, and that that you have enough kind of to fuel you through the workout, that you have something there for those muscles. But BCAAs are great. They slot in like protein, so that works. And then 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, you do want to have that protein shake. So the reason being is that protein shakes are really quickly digested, and it's going to give your muscles kind of that fuel that they need to recover and to rebuild. So that time period after your workout is when you'll do maybe the slower digesting carbs and your protein shake. So what I do is I do my protein shake and my post-workout stuff right after my workout, and then I'll actually do another breakfast on the days like that you're describing a few hours later. So maybe, you finish your workout at 5:30 and you do a quick protein shake, and then at 8:30 or 9, if you're able, that's when you do your normal breakfast with your eggs and your oat bran or that sort of thing. Did that answer your question? I saw that Emily had that same question too. Yes, so getting in your post-workout shakes are very important. Let's see, Melinda. Is it okay to do some of the ab challenge workouts on the days we don't do the drop a jean size workout? Great question. Remember, the motto here is that more is not better, better is better. So it's okay if you want to throw in some core training workouts throughout the week. That's fine. The thing that you need to make sure about is that your recovery from your main workouts, so those Monday, Wednesday, Friday jeans challenge, heavy weight training workouts, that your recovery isn't being affected. So make sure you're not running yourself into the ground. Make sure your muscles are having time on those off days to rest and to repair and to recover. Remember, we talked about the importance of the rest, right? But if you want to throw in a couple of core training circuits from the abs challenge, if you really liked those, that's fine. Yes. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Yes. So BCAA slushy for the wind. And I do the powder to get the dosage that we really kind of need in those BCAAs. You would be taking so many capsules that the powder it's better. And I will tell you, the BCAAs, the powder, it's very bitter. So typically we do look for something that's flavored, just because it makes it a little bit more tolerable, if you will, for that kind of the bitter taste of the BCAAs. So let's see, is there anything else that I missed question-wise? Let me run through here. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm so excited for this month. It's been so cool to see all of the jeans photos that everybody's posting. I absolutely cannot wait to see the progress for this month. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so we had a great question here. Speaking of recovery, is it okay to do the workout if you're still sore from the previous workout? Yes, that's okay. You just want to make sure that you are giving your body enough time to recover. So giving yourself an off day as it's scheduled in our monthly schedule, typically it just seems to work best. It's okay if you're still a little bit sore, but you don't want to do these workouts back to back. You want to give your body that off day, a good, time period kind of in between the workouts to rest and to rebuild and to recover. But it is okay to be a little bit sore. You just want to make sure, like I said, that you have an off day in between workouts. Let's see. Okay, so if you have the diastasis recti and you're wondering about the abs, what can I do instead of the Russian twist or the crunch portion of the workouts? You know what? It sounds so easy, but one of the best things you can do to kind of bring that ab split back together, if you're really working on that core strength, is to just do some transverse abdominal holds. So actually, we can all do this together while we are sitting on the chat. What I want you to do is pull your belly button into your spine and feel that squeeze in the pelvic floor and in the lower abdominal area. So that is engaging the pelvic floor and the transverse abdominal muscles. And that's what we need to work on strengthening if you do have that split from pregnancy. So anytime that you're not comfortable with one of our exercises that is going to engage the core, like the Russian twist, that sort of thing, you can just use that time in the workout to do like maybe 10 to 15 holds. So what you'll do is you'll pull your belly button into your spine, you'll hold for 3 to 5 seconds, and then you'll release, and then you'll do it again. So it sounds like a really small movement, but that's the beginning of rebuilding the pelvic floor and the core and that sort of thing. And then, you want to make sure that you can hold your transverse abdominal muscles tight throughout any of the exercises that we're doing, okay? So does that answer your question? All right, let's see. Is there anything else? I'm scrolling. Is a pre-workout the same as BCAAs? Great question. I like BCAAs pre-workout with my coffee because pre-workouts often contain crazy amounts of caffeine in addition to the amino acids like the BCAAs. So if you look on the label, a pre-workout will probably have lots of caffeine and maybe some other things in addition to the BCAAs, whereas just the BCAAs is going to kind of give you what you need without the extra face tingling sort of caffeine load. Let me see. Yeah, so Melissa said, I think the workout helps my soreness. I follow the calendar. Exactly. So if you do allow for that one day of rest, it's okay to be sore and do your workout a couple days later. And typically for a lot of women that does actually help with soreness, which is awesome, right? Okay, Heather, good question. How do you know if you are insulin resistant? Oh, wow, that is such a great question. Okay, so we talked about improving insulin sensitivity, but how do you know if that's something that needs to be improved? Here are some common, let me think of some common indicators. Low blood sugar. So mild, brief periods of low blood sugar are normal during the day, especially, you know, if your meals aren't eaten on a regular schedule. But prolonged hyperglycemia, with some of the symptoms such as mental fatigue, kind of feeling agitated, maybe feeling a little bit jittery or moody or nauseated or having a headache. Low blood sugar can definitely be an indicator of some insulin resistance. Mood changes, crankiness, irritability, loss of energy, again, just kind of feeling moody. That is often a sign for women. If you have had a blood panel done, increased triglyceride levels, it's actually common, even, you know, kind of for some skinny fat type women, to find out they're insulin resistant and that they also have elevated triglyceride levels. That could be an indicator. High blood pressure, a rise in blood pressure often goes hand in hand with a rise in blood insulin levels. So that could be an indication. Fatigue, chronic fatigue, as well as just, like I said, that brain fogginess, lack of motivation, inability to focus. A lot of times depression is an indication of kind of needing to improve the insulin sensitivity. Carbohydrates are a natural downer. They kind of like depress the brain. So it's not uncommon to see women who are depressed also have insulin resistance. Sleepiness, so I mentioned kind of feeling foggy or tired. People with insulin resistance tend to get sleepy immediately after a meal if they have a meal that's kind of exceeding their carbohydrate tolerance. And then, of course, you know, weight issues. So gaining weight, fat storage, difficulty losing weight, an increase in abdominal fat, all of those are going to be kind of symptoms or signs that you may want to look into balancing those insulin levels. And if you have more questions on that, I'd be happy to talk more. We can go into a lot more detail. So post about that in the members group on Facebook, and I'll answer more questions and we can talk more there. Yeah, so you can totally skip the coffee and just do the BCAAs if you're caffeine sensitive. Absolutely no problem. I just love my morning coffee. Yeah, but BCAAs, if you get them plain, they won't have any caffeine, and they should be fine for you. Okay, so I think that's all the questions. If I missed your question, log into the Facebook page and you can post your question there. I'll be happy to answer anything that I can. It was so great chatting with you guys. I'm so excited for January. I can't wait to see everybody's goal pictures in your goal jeans. Super cute jeans, by the way. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Talk to you later.